the name of Allah, my dear students in المعارف private school. Welcome everybody. Today we are going to talk about lesson 2 in unit 1. It's a grammar lesson. It's about giving advice. As you see, giving advice. And we studied in the previous years how to give advice. Let's remember together how to give advice. To advise someone to do something, we use should plus infinitive. To advise someone to do something, we use should plus infinitive. If you want someone to do something, you can ask him or advise him using should plus infinitive. For example, you should study hard. You should study hard. Should and infinitive. You should help your mother. You should help your mother. You should listen to your teacher. You should listen to your teacher. To advise someone not to do something, we use shouldn't plus infinitive. To advise someone not to do something, we use shouldn't plus infinitive. For example, you shouldn't watch too much TV. You shouldn't watch too much TV. You shouldn't waste your time. You shouldn't waste your time. He shouldn't shout at his friends. He shouldn't shout at his friends. So, there are some expressions that have the same meaning of should and should. Okay, so we used to use should and shouldn't for giving advice. But this year, we will study some expressions that have the same meaning of should and shouldn't. So we can use them instead of should or shouldn't. Let's see, or let's learn about them. Okay, giving advice. Okay, we use should or should. For should plus infinitive, okay, we find some expressions that have the same meaning. The first one, it's a good idea to. It's a good idea to. Okay, has the same meaning of should. Okay, then we have it's important to. If I were you, I would. Had better plus infinitive without to. We don't use to after had better. You had better plus infinitive. Okay, it's advisable to. It's advisable to. I advise you to. My advice to you is to. You ought to. Let's see some examples or questions to use this expression instead of should or use should instead of this expression. Hala should brush her teeth. Use its. Let's check this expression. Which one start with its? Yeah, it's a good idea, it's important, and it's advisable. So I can use any of them and the answer will be right. Okay, yes, excellent. It's important for Hala to brush her teeth. It's important for Hala to brush her teeth. I use it's important instead of should. Okay, we can't use should in the sentence with this expression. Okay, we have another question. He should obey his parents. He should obey his parents. Obey means to listen to his parents and do what they ask him to do. He should obey his parents. Use had. Where is had? Yes, had better. Okay, the subject, he had better and the plus infinitive without should. Let's see the answer. He had better obey his parents. He had better obey his parents. Very good. Then we have, it's advisable for Ali to do a sport. It's advisable for Ali to do a sport. You should. Oh, we start with Ali. Then should plus infinitive. Very good. Yes, the answer will be Ali should do a sport. Ali should do a sport. Excellent. Then we have shouldn't plus infinitive. we use the same expressions, but we add not before to. So it's advisable not to. We will find it's a good idea not to. It's important not to. You had better not, but without to, because we have just mentioned that had better, we don't use to after had better. You had better not plus infinitive. If I were you, I wouldn't plus infinitive. I advise you not to. My advice to you is not to. You ought not to. Okay, let's see some exercise. Rewrite some exercises, okay, based on what we have just said. Don't drive too fast in the city center. Don't drive too fast in the city center. It has the same meaning of you shouldn't drive too fast. So he wants me to use had instead of don't drive or shouldn't. Where is had? Yes, excellent. You had better not. You had better not. So the answer will be yes, you had better not drive too fast in the city center. Excellent. Okay. The next question. It's important not to smoke here. It's important not to smoke here. You shouldn't. Yes. Okay. Right. You shouldn't smoke here. You shouldn't smoke here. Try to answer before me. You shouldn't make noise in the class. Use F. Okay, F. Where is F? Yes, if I were you, I wouldn't, because it's shouldn't. Okay, if I were you, I wouldn't make noise in the class. Very good. Let's have more practice. Rewrite the following sentences. You should study your lesson. Use advice. Yes. Okay. We will start with the subject. I, not you. You should, but I advise you. You should. When I change should with advice, I should change the subject. I, not you. I advise you to study your lessons. Okay, another one. Ahmed should listen to his teacher. Ahmed should listen to his teacher. Use important. Okay, yes, it's important for Ahmed to listen to his teacher. It's important for one person and the person, and then to plus infinitive. It's important for person, to plus infinitive. It's important for Ahmed to listen to his teacher. Great. My advice to you is to do a sport. My advice to you is to do a sport. Use had better. Yes, of course. You had better. No. Do a sport without to. We said that had better doesn't take to. We don't use to after had better. So we can say, you had better do a sport. You should go to the bazaar. Use recommend. You should go to the bazaar. Use recommend. Sometimes I use should for giving recommendation. Okay, not only advice. I can use it to give recommendation. Okay, to say that something is good or useful, I mean. You should go to the bazaar. Yeah, excellent. I recommend you go to the bazaar. Or I recommend you go to, Here, I recommend going to the bazaar. Okay, recommend can be followed by you plus infinitive or verb plus ing. So here we will change you go with going. I recommend going to the bazaar. Verb plus ing. Or I recommend you go. Subject infinitive. Okay? Thank you. The next one is Adil shouldn't spend too much time playing computer games. Use it's advisable. Very good. It's advisable for Adil not to spend, not to spend because shouldn't. Okay? Not to spend too much time playing computer games. We ought to arrive at school on time. We ought, it means we should arrive, okay? So when we use should, we don't use to. We should arrive at school on time. Okay. It's a good idea to recommend going to the bazaar. It's a good idea to recommend going to the bazaar. Use going. Very good. Going to the bazaar is a good recommendation. Going to the bazaar is a good recommendation. Okay. I hope you enjoyed with me today. Thank you. See you next time. Goodbye.